This is a criminal takeover, and you have been warned. Admit I've been right. Admit InfoWars has been right. Admit we're all in deep trouble, and it's time to wake up.
Not thinking. Just remember. Well, I sure done a heap of things. I should have done seem urgent at the moment. Got myself a heap of sins to answer for. Wish it'd been bigger. I reckon old St. Pete's gonna slam that pearly gates right smack dab in my face.
There ain't no pearly gates. When you're dead, you're meat for the worms. That's all there is to it.
I mean, you don't believe in no afterlife, no hereafter?
Tales for children. Bunkum and bosh.
I say this. I believe. I can never find a way to argue down you that don't believe. But I believe in the Lord God Almighty, all-knowing and all-forgiving. And I believe that good shall be triumphant in the end, and that evil shall be vanquished. I believe in a hereafter.
Me too. I figure a man's got to believe in those things. Does he want to believe in the good things about man? About his very own self? The real good things? Like courage, honesty, and love.
Frontierland. Tall tales and true from the legendary past. Presenting this week from Frontierland, Davy Crockett, Indian fighter. And now, Walt Disney. It's characteristic of American folklore that most of our favorite legends and fables are based on the lives of real men, like Davy Crockett of Tennessee.
Born on the mountaintop of Tennessee, greenest state in the land of the free, raised in the woods so he knew every tree, killed him a bar when he was only 3. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier. He went off to Congress and served a spell, fixing up the government and laws as well. Took over Washington, so we heard tell, and patched up the crack in the Liberty Bell. Davy Crockett, seeing his duty clear. He heard of Houston and Austin, and so to the Texas plains he just had to go, where freedom was fighting another foe, and they needed him at the Alamo. Davy Crockett, king of the wild frontier.
None of this is to the fellow YouTubers and a dedication to the old school cats that made that way for us to see how to defend the border and handle those situations. Here's the legend Kelly. I think that's his name, John Wayne.
Held off an army for 13 days, and it's hard to believe that they ever existed. They become legends before the smoke over the battle has blown away. What kind of men were they? Well, we know that they died and that they were heroes. But nobody wants to die, and nobody just decided to be a hero. Has to be forced on them. That's what happened to them. It was forced on them because they were stuck with ideas like freedom and the rights of the individual, hatred of dictators. Crockett, for instance, refused to sign the oath of allegiance to the government of Texas until they changed it to the Republican government of Texas. Living free meant a lot more to them than cowering in security. Another thing about Crockett. When he left for the Alamo, he sent his children this message. I hope you'll do the best you can. I'll do the same. Don't be uneasy about me. I'm with my friends. Worked out just about that way. He stayed with his friends, and he did the best he could.
Republic. I like the sound of the word. Means people can live free, talk free,
power come, buy or sell, be drunk or sober, however they choose. Some words give you a feeling. Republic is one of those words that makes me tight in the throat. Same tightness a man gets when his baby takes his first step, or his first baby shaves, makes his first sound like a man. Some words can give you a feeling that make your heart warm. Republic is one of those words.
Davy, what's going to happen to us? I mean, to you and me.
I'm going to tell you something, Flacca, and I want you to listen tight. It may sound like I'm talking about me, but I'm not. I'm talking about you. As a matter of fact, I'm talking about all people everywhere. When I come down here to Texas, I was looking for something. I didn't know what. It seems like you added up my life, and I spent it all either stomping other men or, in some cases, getting stomped. Had me some money and had me some medals. And none of it seemed a lifetime worth the pain of the mother that bore me. Like I was empty. Well, I'm not empty anymore. That's what's important. To feel useful in this old world. To hit a lick against what's wrong, or to say a word for what's right, even though you get walloped for saying that word. I may sound like a Bible beater yelling up a revival at a river crossing camp meeting, but that don't change the truth none. There's right and there's wrong. You gotta do one or the other. You do the one and you're living. You do the other and you may be walking around, but you're dead as a beaver hat. Bowie, Crockett.
Breaking tonight, sources telling the Kelly File there is a new worry on our southern border tonight, with border agents overwhelmed by this huge recent surge in illegal immigrants. The cartels are now taking advantage. Filmmaker Dennis Michael Lynch traveled down there this week and found this.
That's why I told you it's very important, guys, to follow Mr. Dennis Lynch.
South Texas. I'm going to show you 4 things. Number 1 is the bridge, the international
bridge
from the U.S. going into Mexico. It's got to go through a preserve.
It got to go to the preserve. Pause. Preserve. Continue. This is what Dennis Lynch is talking about. Preserve. Bam. There you go. Exactly what he's talking about. All the people that was there that Fox News can't show you. I will show you.
Today, hundreds of protesters blocked the street, leading to a border patrol. A dramatic standoff in the Inland Empire today. Hundreds of protesters blocked the street, leading to a border patrol station refusing to let buses full of undocumented women and children. They were flown from southern Texas to San Diego this morning. They quickly boarded 3 buses and headed for Murrieta, where agents there were going to process them.
Buses carrying migrants from overcrowded facilities on the Texas border turned around today after encountering protesters at a Border Patrol processing center in Murrieta.
U.S. authorities are trying to deal with tens of thousands of immigrants who have flooded across the U.S. border with Mexico since October. But the move to Murrieta has residents there.
Now, if you paid attention to the documentary, you will know that it's more than tens of thousands.
Tom Wade has been following the story all day. He joins us live from Murrieta now. Tom.
And Susie, some very tense moments earlier today, and protesters are still out here in some impressive numbers. Take a live look on one side of the street that you're looking at right now. Those are supporters of the undocumented immigrants. Those numbers have been growing all day.
Now that takes you back to the Davy Crockett scene.
Barricading them there, kind of forming a perimeter across the street. What you have are protesters.
That's why I put the Davy Crockett in there.
Undocumented immigrants not being deported. They believe they should be sent back
that
to
he
their home
reminds me
countries
of
right away.
Alex Jones a little bit,
But
in the radio real world sense.
They made their way to a U.S. Customs and Border Protection facility in Riverside County, California.
100 undocumented migrant children and their parents were flown from Texas to Southern California today in the latest chapter center of what has become an overwhelming border crisis in this country.
About 140 migrants, mostly families and children, were met by dozens of protesters who waved flags and signs denouncing illegal immigration. The migrants were diverted to the Border Patrol facility in Chula Vista.
See, that's what happens, guys, when you make YouTube videos. You push the issue, you make people stand up. Even if you think somebody only viewed my page only 183 times, my analytics tells me my video's been viewed over 500 times. Just nobody actually fully watched it, I guess, so they don't be tracked or something. But
Bitterly divided protesters
that's what my analytics tell me.
of the immigration
Now look at that.
issue hold the line outside the Murrieta Border Patrol facility this evening.
This was the scene earlier today.
Can't somebody say Davy Crockett?
One by one, many mothers carrying their babies were flanked by Border Patrol officers as they boarded buses for the 1-hour drive to Murrieta. Here they were greeted by angry protesters, furious, they say, by what they call refugees being bused into their small city. They blocked streets, waved flags, and squared off with immigration advocates.
So you think once this gets around, people start seeing this, and they're gonna start protecting their border. They're gonna start standing up, and then it's gonna be, I can't say it,
Some local residents carried signs and American
but you know if you're
flags
watching
as
this
they blocked the
video.
road. The buses finally had to turn around and headed to an undisclosed location.
Now, according to the latest ABC News Washington Post poll, nearly 6 in 10 Americans support a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants.
To block buses carrying dozens of undocumented immigrants, including children, who are arriving in the town of Murrieta today for processing.
Murrieta city leaders oppose the transfers, saying it's a burden on their town and raises safety concerns. Authorities say the move is designed to ease.
Tense as the bus carrying undocumented immigrants arrived. Protesters blocked the road.
Can someone say Clive and Bundy scene? You see, it's just women out there in the front lines. Damn. That was immigrant.
The situation has increased
Or
the
alien,
potential
my bad.
for drug and human trafficking as border agents deal instead with the flood of children.
There's no tie to it right now. As I testified, the center of gravity is the Rio Grande Valley. That's where it's a transshipping center for the nation right now. It's where it's drugs. So when I say drugs, it's heroin, cocaine, methamphetamine, and marijuana, and human smuggling and trafficking, which human trafficking is going on as well. Not just smuggling.
More than 52,000 unaccompanied children have been apprehended entering the United States illegally since October.
Immigration officials say if the immigrants pass criminal checks, they will be released on their own recognizance and told to report to a
See,
local
back then in the Davy Crockett days, you just got shot if you'd have got crossing the border. Crossing the border, excuse me. And go do your history. That's why I put old John Wayne up there.
Police stood between buses and protesters as the vehicles turned around, headed back on a freeway towards San Diego. This was expected to be the first of several.
Now that's the power of a protest.
Instead, tonight they are at a facility near the Mexico border in San Ysidro.
But thousands more do make it across. In fact, more than 52,000 unaccompanied children have been caught crossing the border since October. It's a huge surge of immigrants flooding U.S. facilities.
Don't even listen to the numbers. It's just unreal. It's all propaganda.